I'm Kenneth John Barreto, and this my report is Humanistic Psychology from Miss Rojas. Then, Humanistic Psychology emerged during the 1950s as a reaction to psychoanalysis and behaviorism, which dominated psychology at the time. Psychoanalysis was focused on understanding the unconscious motivation that drive behavior, while behaviorism studied the conditioned process that produce behavior. Humanistic thinkers felt that both psychoanalysis and behaviorism were too pessimistic, either focusing on the most tragic of emotion or failing to take into actions the role of personal choice. For example nito ma'am, pag sinabi natin psychoanalysis, ito yung unconscious motivation, yung not active yung isang tao. Parang gusto niya laging mapag-isa, gusto niya laging walang ginagawa. Yung kanyang utak parang hindi gumagana, hindi nag-iisip. Then why the behaviorism naman po, kinokondisyonin niya yung process na kung saan yung unconscious mind mo mas lalong namomotivate, mas lalong umaandar sa isipan mo. Okay. Pag sinabi humanistic psychology was instead focused on each individual potential and stress the importance of growth and self-actualization. Pag sinabi self-actualization, ito yung creativity, spontaneity, yung mga yan. The fundamental belief of humanistic psychology is that people are innately good and that mental and social problems result from deviation from the natural tendency. Let's move into the trait theory. A trait is what we call a characteristic way in which an individual perceives, feels, believes, or acts. When we casually describe someone, we are likely to use trait terms. I am, for example, somewhat of an introvert, a pretty nervous person, strongly attached to my family, frequently depressed, and awesomely intelligent. I have a good sense of humor, fond of languages, very fond of good food, not all of fond of exercise, and a little obsessive. You see, I have just gives you 10 traits that actually go a long way towards describing me. Psychologists, especially personologists, are very interested in traits. They are especially interested in finding which traits are broad and possibly genetically based, as opposed to ones that are rather peculiar and can change easily. Over the years, we have had a number of theories that attempt to describe the key of human beings. So, pag sinabi natin trait, ito na kung saan ang isang tao ay laging gusto mapag-isa. Lagi siya, pag sinabi mapag-isa, syempre, depressed siya. Wala siyang kasama sa bahay, wala siyang kaibigan, gusto lagi mapag-isa. Laging gusto kumakain, pero matalino. Dahil kapag mag-isa siya, laging gusto niya nagbabasa ng libro, nanonood ng TV. Yan, gagawin na mga gawain na mapag-isa. Very intelligent. Pag sinabing very intelligent, nawawala yung focus sa iba. Tulad ng exercise. Ayaw niya mag-exercise dahil gusto niya lagi lang siya mapag-isa. Wala siyang mga kaibigan na mag-iaya sa kanya para mag-exercise. And then, very good human sense of humor. Pag sinabi human sense of humor, mabilis mag-isip. Pero pag sinabi mabilis mag-isip, very good. Parang ganun nga, very good. So, fond of languages. Hindi lang Filipino or English ang kanyang pwedeng salitain, kundi iba pang mga languages out of the world. Yun ang sinasabi kong trait. Pag sinabing trait, ito isang taong gusto mapag-isa na ayaw lumabas para mag-explore in the outside world. During the late 1950, Abraham Maslow and other psychologists held meetings to discuss the development of the professional organization devoted to a more humanist approach to psychology. They agreed that topics such as self-actualization, creativity, and individuality, and related topics were the central theme of this new approach. In 1961, they officially established the American Association for Humanistic Psychology. Yun nga, pag sinabi natin psychology or humanistic psychology, ito yung talagang taong laging gusto mapakita individuality. gagawa siya ng isang bagay, gusto niya mag-isa lang siya. Mag-iisip siya, gusto niya mag-isa lang siya. Mga halimbawa nito, mga writers, directors, or anything else, na gusto laging mag-isa lang. Yung parang outside of the world, lagi sa mundo.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Rodolph John Loren, and I'm going to tackle about the trait theory of Carl Jung and the Myers-Briggs. One of the earliest trait theories was introduced by ecology of Sigmund Freud by the name of Carl Jung. Jung was never completely sold on Freud's ideas, and soon left his circle to develop his own theory. This is not the place to go into details, but one aspect of the theory concerned traits that Jung felt were inborn. These inborn, genetically determined traits are usually called temperaments. So, what is temperaments? Temperaments is a person or animal's nature, especially at impermanently affects their behavior. For instance, ma'am, my classmate Kiles, he had begun to show sign of temperaments. Parang masyado siyang emotional, parang nagagalit siya agad, ma'am. Madali siyang magalit. Yun. Later, two students of Jung theory named Myers and Briggs, mother and daughter, developed a personality test based on Jung temperaments called the Myers-Briggs Type Inventory, or MBTI, has gone on the become the most famous personality test of all time. Next is extraversion. Extraversion is a tendency to look to the outside world, especially people, for one's pleasures. Extroverts are usually outgoing and they enjoy social activities, but they don't like to be alone. Extrovert, ito yung an outgoing, overly expressed person. For instance, ma'am, ako po, kasi yung kanina po, yung introvert, ito naman siya, yung kabaliktaran ng introvert, extrovert. Lagi siya nakikihalubila sa mga environment niya. For example, sa mga friends niya, kapag may nagkakayaan, kunyari may inuman na ganito, ganyan. Lagi siyang sumasama. Cut. The trait are seen as opposite. And the first set of introversion and extraversion. Introversion refers to a tendency to prepare the world inside oneself. The more obvious aspects of introversion are shyness, distaste for social functions, and the love of privacy. Ano ba yung introvert, ma'am? Introvert po kasi, para sa akin, ito yung mahihain ka, resident, and typically self-centered person. For example, ma'am, ako po, parang nahiya ako makihalubila sa mga classmate ko. Gusto ko yung ako lang mag-isa. Parang, self-learner ako. Ayokong makahalubilo sa kanila. Kasi nga, parang, feeling ko, hindi nila ako mare-recognize. Next, we have the contrast between sensing people and intuiting people. Sensing types, as the name implies, get all their information about life from their senses. They tend to be realistic, down-to-earth people, but they tend to see everything in rather simplistic, concrete, black or white terms. Senses. Senses is a faculty by which the body perceives an external stimulus. One of the faculties of sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Cut.
Good day, ma'am, sir. I'm Ralph Noel Quiles, and this is Humanistic Traits. Initiating. People tend get their information from institution. This means that they tend to be little out of touch with two more solid aspects in reality, a little flaky, you might say, but may see the artistic and can be rather philosophical. Again, the majority of the people are sensing, and that can make initiators feel rather lonely and understand and appreciate our society to be distrustful and dreamers. Artists, intellectual, but other societies may be more appreciative. Next, contrast between thinkers, feelers. Thinking people make their decision and basis of thinking, reasoning, logic, step by step. Problem solving, this works very well. Physical problems, but can leave something to be desired when dealing something as complex as people. Ang initiating po ma'am ay, ito po yung understand or workout by an instinct. Example na lang po nito yung sa mga office. Kunyari, nagtatrabaho ka sa call center. Pag sinabing understand or workout by instinct, ibig sabihin, alam mo na yung mga gagawin mo kahit hindi ka na inuutusan. Parang nakatutok na sa isip mo na ito yung susunod na pangyayari step by step. Saka sa thinking naman po, ito po yung using thought and rational judgmental. Parang thinking man po, meron tayong yung tinatawag na thinking man, yung thinking na statue po, kung nasabi nyo na po yun nung nakaraan. The process of using one's mind and consider as reason about something. Thinking, ito yung nag-iisip po tayo sa mga bagay-bagay, kung ano yung mga pangyayari natin nakalipas o ngayon o mangyayari pa lang. Yun po ang explanation ng thinking. Feeling. People make their decision based on their feelings. While this doesn't work so well, trying to fix your car or your computer, feelings are kind intuition that works very well when dealing with people. Feeling, ito yung process na nararamdaman mo sa isang tao. Ito yung mga kung gutom ka, yung may sakit ka, may iba't ibang klaseng feeling yan eh. Nararamdaman natin yan sa araw-araw. Minsan, lalamig ka, feeling natin na may bad karma tayo. Yun yung isang basic example sa atin, sa mga buhay natin. Yun yung feelings. Half of the people thinking and half are feeling, but proportion differ when we start looking at the gender. Majority men thinkers and majority of women are feelers. Some people have criticized judging for apparent sexism, but we should note that the good third of men feelers are good third of women thinkers. So it is not a simple men versus women kind of thing. Plus, Jung said that there is no reason to value thinking over feeling. Each has strength, weakness, note. Also, feeling may feel odd as may thinking women stereotypes and greatest harm when they prevent individuals from being what they in fact are. Kasi po ma'am, ito po yung may sinasabi tayo dito sexism and men versus women. Pag yan, yung feelings nila naglaban, mahirap ng i-judge, parang ganon. Mahirap kumbinsahin ang mga tao sa mga nararamdaman. Kaya naglalaban sila. The last contrast versus perceiving is judging. People to tend more like fruits, anal, retentive types, neat, orderly, hardworking, always time scheduling things are very careful. Knowledge professors tend to be judging. Ayan, judge. Kung lawmaker ka, mag-judge ka in the right way or na wrong way. Kunyari, yung taong yun, kumakain, hindi mo siya alam. Ginajudge mo siya kaagad kasi nakatalikod. Bakit siya nakayoko? Pag tinignan mo yung tao na yun, at nag-isip ka ng masama, yun ang judging. Kasi hindi mo pa nakikita kung ano yung ginagawa niya kapag nakita mo na sa harapan mo mismo. Yun po ang judging. Perceiving people are the most spontaneous to prefer to do things then the spirits moves them. They are probably more fun in the judging types, but as you can imagine, they tend not to things done in often to seem as college professor that the college students are not perceiving actually distributed judging by perceiving people pretty even 50-50. Perceiving, ito yung sinasabi natin, comes to realize or understand. Ibig sabihin, comes to realize. Ito yung bigla ka na may pumapasok sa isip mo na, meron palang ganito, gagawin ko na. Yung parang bigla siyang nag-a-approach, bigla siyang nagpa-pop up sa ulo natin na may gagawin ba tayo? Biglang, kunyari may nakalimutan tayo sa bahay, pero habang naglalakad siya sa taas, parang naglalakad ka sa kung saan, tas biglang, boom, naiwan ko yung susi ko, naiwan ko yung wallet ko. Yun yung comes to realize or understand na may nagkulang. And then, when you take Myers-Briggs for similar tests like Kersey, you get set of our letters. I for introvert or E for extrovert, S for sensing, and N for initiating, T for thinking, or F for feeling, and J for judging, or P for perceiving. I, for example, of an INFP, which in fact quite accurate. My wife is an ISFJ. She's more down to earth and organized than I will never. That's control, family, and organized that will always be Han. We are both introverts. The feeling which means you are more likely to find crying over the rented movie than out some wild party. In-explain ko, ito yung yun nga sa mag-asawa, pwede mong gawing may time na magkasama kayo, pwede kayo manood ng sine, then yung pinapalabas na yun, nakakaiyak. Minsan naman, pupunta kayo dun sa party na magsasaya. Yun yung sinasabi natin na perceiving, may INP, feelings, naghahalo-halo na yan. Yun po ang aming report.